Dr. Mama is here. I've seen her on the show several times, and I finally get the chance to meet you this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Great. Good to be here with you guys.
I love the topic about 7 summer health myths, things that I was looking, every single one of these applies to me as growing up as a native of San Diego. Things that my mom would tell me that you are saying are not true.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Let's get right to it from the very first one. Fruit juices and lemonade don't count towards hydration and warm weather.
Well, your mom might have told you that, but they really do count. All fluids count, even fluids with caffeine, iced coffee, iced tea. You probably didn't think so.
No.
They all count, but they're not as good as water. Water is the best. Unless you're exercising for a long period of time, like more than an hour, and then you need to mix your water up with a sports drink or something that'll give you some electrolytes.
So you're a pediatrician. Are there any good tips as far as to get your children to actually drink more water? That's a challenge in my house. I have to constantly remind them.
Yeah, it's habit. You're creating habits. So if whatever they're drinking now, if they're drinking stuff that's not water, start being sneaky and diluting it a little bit with water.
Sneaky works for me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Don't try to just do the switch.
What's the second one here? Putting ice on a burn to cool it off, then coat it with butter or Vaseline. I'd never heard about the Vaseline, but the butter, yes.
Yeah, really bad idea. Ice on a burn causes further damage to the tissue that's already damaged by the burn. So you don't want to use ice. You want to rinse it under cold water until the pain stops, and then leave it open to air. Vaseline and butter are no good.
We're going to mention this more than once on this segment about your website, mamasoncall.com. So if you have any questions, you want to ask her questions, etc., you can go to the website. You can see the information that you've discussed with lots of people, or so they can ask you personal questions.
Absolutely. We'll answer you on the site or off the site if you prefer, and we love your questions.
Oh, here we go. Okay, number 3, tilt your head back to stop a nosebleed.
Yeah. Did your mom tell you that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, positively.
No.
I still see parents that do it.
Yeah. Doesn't work and just makes you swallow all that blood. Not the best idea. So instead, pinch your nose right below the bone.
Right.
Right here.
Right.
3 to 5 minutes. It'll stop the bleeding.
Sounds good. So, this one. This is applied to every single one of us in this room, and you watching at home. Swimming on a full stomach will lead to cramps, and you will drown. Ah. We have heard this over and over again.
Absolutely.
I have to wait 20 minutes.
Yeah, I hear people on the beach telling it to their kids sitting right next to me. My family members still tell it to their kids. They don't believe me. There has never been a case of drowning that one could blame on eating a meal and then going swimming.
Really?
It might make you uncomfortable.
Sure.
It might not feel good to swim on a full stomach. There is no danger.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Wonder where that started.
I don't know.
You know, because we've heard it for years. I mean, all of us have grown up with that one. Okay, number 5. Babies shouldn't use sunscreen, and dark-skinned people do not need it.
Right. Both those things are false. Babies over 6 months absolutely need sunscreen, 30 SPF or more. Even better, clothing, because babies have much more sensitive skin than you or I. So you want to cover them up as much as you can with clothing, exposed areas, sunscreen, at least every 2 hours.
Now, this isn't a myth, but just a question as a parent, because I have 7- and 9-year-old little ones. My 9-year-old son has a tendency of getting burned because he's athletic, he's outside doing things, and I'll cover his arms and stuff, but you'll see burns around his neck and
around the neck
and from the shirt. What can you do?
Well, what you can do is, again, it's a habit. When they get up in the morning, getting dressed, start with sunscreen. Don't wait until they're planning the outdoor activities and you spray it on the face and the arm and the legs maybe. Start in the morning, slather them like an adult might with moisturizer.
Sure.
Treat sunscreen the same way.
It's habit, like you said.
Yeah,
okay.
habit.
All right, number 6. Poison ivy or poison oak is contagious.
Not contagious. I grew up thinking that. No, you cannot give me poison ivy.
Yeah, because I wasn't allowed to play with friends if they had poison ivy.
Well, that was a myth. I'm sorry.
Mom!
Yeah. The rash is caused by an allergic reaction to the oil on the leaves that is called urushiol. And some people are sensitive, some aren't. 70% of the population is sensitive to it. I'm one of the 30%, so I don't get poison
So it's
ivy.
the transference of the oils.
Exactly. It's the oil. But you can transfer the oil to me. If you haven't washed it off and I touch the area of your skin where there's oil, I can pick up that oil. Or if I pick up a ball that's fallen in poison oak, I can pick up the oil that way. And that's how that myth started out.
Last but not least, and I'm sure you probably could come up with more in the next several weeks, dark tinted sunglasses provide more sun protection than lighter tints.
This is really important because I think a lot of people believe that the darker the sunglasses, the better. The UV protection has nothing to do with the color of the tint. They're totally separate. So you need to look for the little label that says 100% UVA and UVB protection.
Does price in the sunglasses really make a difference?
If it's the $10 ones,
if they're expensive, I'm going to lose them quickly.
Yeah, well, exactly. Me too. No, if they say UV protection 100% A and B, you're cool. If they're $10, all the better.
Sounds good. Rachel Zahn, Dr. Mama, you are fascinating. Mama's On Call is the site, mamasoncall.com. Thank you for being on the show. I hope you had a great Father's Day weekend with your family.
Thank you, Gary. You too.
Sounds good. San Diego Living will be back right after this.